Oh, and we are online. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's spread the verb and share the link in the chat of this YouTube live. YouTube.com. Sharing Discord and Telegram. My PC is so slow today. Okay, I will close the Telegram, the Discord and Telegram. As usual, please, for questions, please comment on the YouTube. Please, if you have any comments, go on YouTube in order to let me just watch a unique source and do not be forced to going crazy between YouTube, Discord, and Telegram. So anyway, it's 8 p.m. Let's just wait 5 minutes in order to let people come, if any, and then we can start our discussion. In the meantime, I'm just reverting some stuff I did in order to have clean environment. Where to start? Okay. Application. 3 minutes to go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mhm. Ciao, Dr. Gambaculus. Just 1 minute to go. Mhm. Release the button. Yeah, release the button. Mhm. Okay, 5 minutes passed. I think that we can start. So, hi everyone, welcome back. Vasa here for you. Summer is finally over, so no more hot weather, and we can go back to work 100%. And today I'm here because, yeah, all the tasks that the team is executing are running, and we recently updated our logo, our protocol logo and token. I hope that you liked it. And we also updated the metadata of the OS token, which switched back from known to OS again, and we also released the ownership of the metadata changes. So no more metadata changes can be done over there, because the owner is released. And in the next days, we will update all the stuff in the next days or weeks, all the stuff on the other websites, also our application websites. Something is already on its way, so I just updated a new version of the application that has new logo, but it needs a lot of tweaks. Right now. But yeah, here today we are here because I want to show you what I promised it to you about the creation of the organizations and the famous the button, which is just a new page into the UI that lets you create an organization. Several changes were done from the last release of the Ethereum's OS organizations, and a new factory system has been introduced, and the code was ready at 80%. If I remember correctly, something was missing about, for example, the fixed inflation, and a couple of little bugs were corrected here and there. And at the end of the day, was created during this month was the complete procedure to install and deploy the new organizations factory for the Ethereum Mainnet and Optimism, and the creation of the organization, which passed from the need of, I think that we needed 5 transactions to create the original Ethereum OS organizations. Now everything can be done in just one transaction, which for the user experience, from a user experience perspective, is really a game changer. And of course, everything was produced and built to be deployed in the next days on the mainnet optimism, both Ethereum and Optimism, and also the possibility to create an organization through the front end to the ethereumsos.eth website. If you go there right now, there is a kind of beta version of not working beta version of the button, so you can just see all the fields that are needed to create an organization. In the next days, the development team will take care of the front end and just develop a new version in order to release a more workable version of it. But it will come in the next weeks. In the next days, the release will be completed of the button, and it will be possible to create an organization, vote for, transfer the tokens, or for the investments manager, create delegations, and so on. Everything in the actual front end. So what we're gonna see today? Today I want to show you what is the procedure that will be used on Ethereum Mainnet and Optimism that will be run to deploy the organization factory, and then what is the procedure to deploy an organization. At first, through the code of multiverse, and then also into the front end. And for this reason, I want also to show you how multiverse works, and how it will help developers to develop more complicated Ethereum's EVM compatible, let's say, chains, projects, smart complex projects, because multiverse is a suite that now it is in beta, and in the next months it will need a huge work to be released as a not internal product, let's say, because actually it is internal. So I can show you just a little bit of things just to let you understand how multiverse works and how it can be useful. But the plan is to release it as a product that people can use for their own softwares on chain, of course. So let me share the screen. Okay. Entire screen. Wow. Okay, what you're seeing here, just a sec. Okay, what you are seeing here is the multiverse repository. That is a private repository because the code is private right now, and so I don't want to show you the entire code base of multiverse, but just what it can do for you, which is almost interesting, and then how it is used to create the organization factory and organizations. So what is multiverse? Multiverse is a tool that lets you do several things for an Ethereum project, an EVM compatible project. For example, compile contracts in several Solidity versions, run forked versions of the Ethereum mainnet, and using some wonderful capability as of the Ganache tool by consensus, which is extremely useful. And the base of multiverse has that, for example, is Ganache itself. And I want to show you how it works. Multiverse is created as a framework, which means that it is a runner that needs a configuration file where you can just insert all the things you need, and it works. It also can be used as a command line tool that lets you, for example, compile contracts and grabbing all the ABIs and binaries of all the contracts of your project. And so how to run multiverse? First of all, you need to create a .env file that has several properties inside. And now I want to show you one by one all the properties that a multiverse file can have in order to understand how it works. The first one is, of course, blockchain connection string, which means give me the endpoint of a working Ethereum node or Optimism node that let me fork the network and just create a forked network, of course. So you can pass here, for example, your Infura URL, your Alchemy Ethereum URL, Optimism URL, or the URL of your local node. I tried all the possibilities, and everything works. Then the hard fork. By the way, all the parameters are optional, so this means that you can also run multiverse without using any parameter. Just have a brand new chain that will start and will end at the end of the procedure of multiverse. Hard fork means which hard fork of the Ethereum mainnet I want to fork. So it will help me to know how my forked chain will work. Fork block number, for example, if you want to fork the mainnet from a previous precise block number. Let's say, for example, you are at block number 100. The mainnet is at block number 100, but you want to fork from block number 5. You just specify the blockchain connection string, the fork block number at that specific fork, and everything will work like the other blocks never existed. So this means that, for example, you can use this to create several things, like, for example, a snapshot, and see how, for example, how can be collected data, how data can be collected in order to bypass, for example, the last balances of a token. If, for example, if you have to do kind of airdrops or whatever, but just focus on what was the balances of each wallet at the specific block number, and it could be pretty useful. Blocks to jump. Sorry, it means that, for example, when the mainnet fork starts, you can create fake empty blocks, 5 blocks, for example, in order to let the chain be extremely unaligned from the mainnet if you need to do some magic trick on that. Blockchain connections for log string. This is extremely important because the most important call in the entire Web3 API is the one that lets you collect the logs, because the logs contain the story of your of the blockchain, of course, but also of your projects. For example, where the entire Ethereum OS ecosystem, also covenants, also items work because of logs. For example, when you open the page of the farming contracts, in order to show all the contracts, you just need to go into the you need to query the logs on that on the specific address of the factory that creates the farming contracts, and then it populates the page with all the farming contracts. Everything this is done without knowing what are the real farming contracts, the real addresses of the farming contract, but just creating the logs of the factory and say, give me all the addresses from there. And if you just use a real node, or, for example, a forked ganache node, use the internal get logs of the engine of the node is extremely slow. So, for example, you can have a local node to query and write fake blocks on the transaction, which is extremely fast, but use another another blockchain connection strings, for example, on Infura or Alchemy, to have a faster way to read the previous logs. And so this is why these two difference. Then there is the blockchain server port. Blockchain server port is used to let, because of multiverse is used as a test suite, it just starts, run all the tests, and then quits. But if server port is provided, the ganache, the multiverse engine will stay alive after the execution of the procedures of the tests. And so you can use the transaction you made with the data you made, for example, to populate your front end and see how the front end will work with the edits that you made. For example, we use this technique during the OS app updates, because of we didn't have the possibility to see how if the procedure of the upgrade procedure worked or not. We just used this trick. We used multiverse to run the OS app as day passes, even if the survey wasn't already executed. And on the front end, we just saw the results navigating the Ethereum source organization like if it was already upgraded with the OS app, but just in the forked version. On the mainnet was in the original version. So server port it is needed. For example, we will use it today to specify the server port of the your local multiverse instance running, then connect to MetaMask through that environment, in order to not to use the Ethereum original mainnet, the original one, but the forked one, which has, for example, the organization factory already deployed. Because of the organization factory is not deployed, it will be deployed in the next days. We can just deploy it through multiverse and just run the creation of organization on multiverse. And when we switch back to the Ethereum mainnet, the organization that we will create disappeared, because they were just on multiverse. Bypass gas price is because when you run a multiverse procedure, it can be slower if every time it needs to query for the actual gas price of the original Ethereum mainnet, because you are running in a test mode, so you don't need to be extremely you don't have to have the extreme fidelity with the Ethereum the Ethereum real mainnet. Production is a flag extremely important, because you just write your procedure on multiverse. Let's say that I will show you the procedure to create the organization factory. You do all your tests, you do all your benchmarks, etc. Once the procedure is correct, you just switch to production to the true value. And this will not use multiverse anymore, but just will use the Ethereum mainnet. So this is the extreme power of why multiverse is so powerful. You just have a procedure, you write it, you test it, you are extremely sure that what you are executing or multiverse will be executed on mainnet, then switch with production to true, and all that stuff will be deployed. And when you run multiverse the second time, all the stuff is executed on the real mainnet that you will choose, Optimism or Ethereum, for example. And so this is why I created multiverse, because I needed an environment test a test environment that which is the mainnet but not mainnet, because the testnet cannot have, for example, the real liquidity of Uniswap or the real OS token address, etc., but just a simulated one. But with this trick, we can have the procedure and write and test it and then run on the Ethereum mainnet. Seconds to wait is used for if production is true, because production true means you are writing your transaction directly on the real mainnet, not the simulated one anymore. And it could be dangerous if, for example, you forgot something. So I think that, yes, the default value of seconds to wait is 7. So once multiverse started, it just announces you in 7 seconds, the transaction will be executed. Are you sure that you have done everything that is okay to prepare yourself for the real mainnet transaction? Because, of course, as you know, once you put the transaction on the real mainnet, it's extremely difficult to avoid it, to abort it. Sorry. Oh, now there is another interesting stuff, which is simulate. Because of multiverse is based on Ganache. Ganache offers a lot of cool stuff, like, for example, fast forwards of the blocks. So mine a lot of empty blocks, or something like, for example, write a transaction, submit a transaction with an address which you don't have the private key. So you can unlock the address and be extremely sure that you can use other people addresses. For example, let's say, for example, you need to simulate I don't know, a rug pull, okay? You can just simulate the ownership of all the token holders of the designed token, and just let everybody of these token holders transfer all the tokens they have to one of your wallets, and then test the rug pull. Of course, this thing cannot be done in mainnet because, of course, you don't have the private key of the addresses. You can just simulate that you can impersonate those addresses. And when simulate is true, the procedure runs on multiverse, on forked mainnet, but bypasses and deactivate all this kind of magic stuff that Ganache provides, in order to be extremely sure that when the procedure runs on Ethereum, on the mainnet, I mean, you don't have any kind of problem linked to it, because a multiverse procedures is made by different transactions. Let's say you have 3 good transactions. There you have something like, for example, the unlock of some addresses you don't have the private key, and then use those addresses to do the other transactions. In pure multiverse execution, it will work. In simulate, it is always multiverse, but those APIs are disabled, so the procedure will end. And this is okay, because it means that your procedure were not ready for the production. So once the simulate says, okay, this procedure is ready for production, okay, you can then activate the production, and then you can deploy it. So this is a kind of security mechanism in order to let you save your Ethereum that you will spend on mainnet, if, of course, there are any problem. And it is extremely interesting. Transaction hashes to dump. I want to bypass this because it is a secret, a little surprise I want to show you during this video. So for now, let this not be, I will not comment this. Environment means that you can use Ethereum mainnet, or you can use the Optimism network, which is of course an EVM, but as you know, there is the sidechain that communicates with the mainnet, and activating the environment optimism, it will activate you to two forked blockchains, the blockchain of the mainnet and the blockchain of the optimism, and they will communicate all the mechanism and the bridge in order to let them communicate between them. So you can also test extremely articulated stuff. For example, using these, I introduced this during the creation of colonies, in order to test colonies, of course, because there are the fees on the L2 that need to pass on L1, and it can be used to reply all the scenarios of your application, of course. Procedures is extremely important. Procedures means that you can write several multiverse procedures and then execute them sequentially, just providing the names of the procedures. A procedure is a JavaScript folder, like the environments, this one, having inside a file called index.js, and that is the name of the procedure. And you can write, for example, three procedure 1, procedure 2, procedure 3, and then introduce here first procedure 1, comma, procedure 2, comma, procedure 3, and multiverse will execute them sequentially. Of course, even in forked version or production version. Private key is used when you are in simulate or production mode, because, as I said, multiverse is on top of Ganache. Ganache lets you unlock and use every kind of address. But if you want to do the transaction using that specific address, you need the private key, of course. And this can be used to provide the private key of the address that you will use to deploy it. So you can test with the address that you imagine to use, you will use without the private key. Once you're ready to go in production or simulate, you need the private key, because all the magic tricks are deactivated. Accounts means that you can specify, because of multiverse every time creates 10 brand new accounts every time it runs. But you need, for example, to simulate the ownership over your token. You need that specific account. You can specify a comma-separated list of addresses, which will be unlocked directly when multiverse starts. You can do it by your own in the procedure code, or you just use these voice into the configuration file in order to provide them directly. Blockchain connection string L2 means that when you are in optimism mode, and I hope that several chains will come in the future, when you use the suffix L2, which can be used for every single configuration voice, you are just providing information for this sidechain. So, for example, you can have accounts that can be used to unlock Ethereum accounts on the mainnet, and then have another voice called accounts L2 that can be used to unlock accounts on the L2. If L2 is not provided, the one of the mainnet is used for the L2. So, for example, if I want to specify some accounts, I could write in my .m file this accounts equals 0xabc, 0xdef, and when multiverse starts, it will unlock these accounts. Unlock means that you can impersonate them and use them like you have the private keys, but for example, they are the Vitalik's wallet, for example. Okay, and this is how multiverse work and what it can offer. Okay, let's roll back in order to have the repository clean. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how can you can use these the multiverse suite. You have, for example, the Ethereum computational orgs repository with all the contracts. This is the public one, okay? And just to keep all the repositories clean, I moved the tests in another repository, which I think is also open, public, I mean, which is called organization tests, which is this that I already opened here. Yes. And these are the tests of the organization. So this will contain the multiverse procedures over here that will run to create the organization factory and the organizations. So the dependencies of these JavaScript projects are the Ethereum computational orgs in order to access the contracts, of course, and multiverse suite in order to use multiverse, of course. So let me clean up something here in order to show you how multiverse works. So let's say that you create a new test or procedure project like this using this repo. You did your yarn command in order to download all the node modules. Then you need to do this, npx multiverse init. And multiverse will start for the first time asking you some stuff. For example, the first thing is, where are the knowledge bases of your environment are located? The default one is resources knowledge bases. What are knowledge bases on multiverse? They are JSON files that are named with the chain ID. For example, in the case of Ethereum Mainnet, the chain ID is #1. So you have the file #1.json. For Optimism is number 10. So you have number 10s for JSON. So let's say that you are forking Mainnet. The knowledge base will be 1.json for Mainnet and 10.json for Optimism. What are these files? These files just contain all the stuff that you can use in your multiverse procedure in order to let it run correctly. For example, once the Presto address of covenants is created, you are not forced to recreate it every time you run a new procedure. So let's say I created the Presto address when I created the Covenants Farming Suite years ago, but now I need that address to run the organization because it is used into the investments manager, into the fixed inflation, etc. And what I just do is to populate the knowledge base with the Presto address used in mainnet or the one used in Optimism, and just use this previously deployed address into the new procedure. So this is the knowledge base. If you don't specify anything but just hit enter, it will use the default resources knowledge base folder. Now it asks to you which version of Solidity you want to use, because of course you write your smart contracts, but you don't. The multiverse can run several versions of Solidity, and you can, for example, in your procedure need different versions at the same time, and you can do it. But if you do not specify the version while compiling contracts, the default one will be used. In our case, the default is 0.8.6. Actually, because of this was an already created project, this 0.8.6 is already present inside the files of the procedure. But if it wasn't, multiverse would download the correct 0.86 version of Solidity and put it in order to reuse it every time you want. So now that you did this, I need to populate the configuration file. And now I need a little bit of privacy because the configuration file contains precious information, like, for example, node or private keys, etc. So let me just check if it is clean for you. I think, yes, I can. I think that I can show you this part. Yes, there are several things into the file, but these are the most important. Blockchain server port, as I said, I used Multiverse to create the organization factory and then use the front end to create through the button to create the organization. So server port is needed. The account I will use is the non-labs address, which is public, so it is provided here, and fork block number is commented, so it is not used. Once the procedure is okay, I will write through here like this, and the private key of this account will be needed, so it will be written over here. Bypass gas price is not important because the transactions are not so much. Organization factory V1 is the name of the procedure that will run. And let's see, here in Multiverse there is the procedures folder which contains two folders, which are two procedures: proposal rules factory and organization factory. I can write something like this over here: proposal rules factory V1 and then organization factory V1. Proposal rules are all the rules to run the proposal of the organization. So they will be executed before the creation of the organization factory. So the proposal rules factory will be created, and then the organization factory will use this proposal rules factory in order to create organization factories, in order to create organizations. Now it is not needed because internally the organization factory V1, I will show you, will call the proposal rules factory V1. And now let's take a look on the procedure. Organization factory V1 has a file called index.js, and once you open it, you just have the entire code of the procedure, which contains two main functions. The start functions, which is the main function which will run as the procedure. So it will run the entire code that is used to deploy the organization factory. And at the end of the file, there is the test function, which is executed in is used in test mode when production is false to run everything. Okay, so here we have okay, this is not useful for now. So now let's figure out, I am, for example, on the Ethereum Mainnet, and I will create the organization factory. All the things I need to do is to create the models of the proposals manager, treasury manager, state manager, microservices manager, fixed inflation manager, the one that I wrote and showed through the Vasa pill, treasury splitter manager, delegations manager, and investments manager. I was able to just needed one organization factory to create the two versions we discussed: the lightweight organization, which doesn't have the fixed inflation, and the one which is the full organization, including the fixed inflation. With this procedure, I just collect the byte codes of this proposal of all these managers. Get bytecode is an internal method. It just receives the location of the smart contract into the Ethereum SOAS package. Then use where it is here, the compile API, which is provided by Multiverse, and it is used to compile the bytecode. And once the bytecode is compiled, you can use it to build the real bytecode, including the initialization arguments. And then once all the bytecodes are created, they are just cycled into this for loop, and through the Multiverse API send blockchain transaction, you are able to deploy them in on the forked net or the production network. Then once I created all the utility models, I just saved their addresses into the knowledge base as the models, proposals manager, treasury manager, etc. So we pass from the Solidity code to the deployed address. Then there is the model of the organization, always thought through the 8th computational works repo. Just compile it, deploying them through the deploy contract API, and save the address. Other things, for example, for the sub-DAO proposals, as before, just create the bytecodes and then deploy them, and then save all the models. All the model keys linked to the organization managers, and all the other stuff needed to create the factory. Once you have all the stuff, you just created the lazy init data, which can be used by the organization factory to deploy it. It is deployed and called the factory of factories is called, telling them that you will create a new factory, and a new factory is created, and this is the organization factory. Now this is the entire procedure that can be run, and once it's finished, it creates a new organization. A new organization factory. Then you can use this organization factory on your front end to create the organization. And this is what I will show you right now. So the first thing to do is to run the multiverse procedure. We checked that the .m file is okay, so we can launch it. So launching multiverse, and it has problem. Why? It says procedures is empty. Live problems, I think. No, procedure is not empty, man. Whoa, there is something that doesn't work. It worked until a couple of hours ago. Just let me check, please. Just hold on a second, guys. I don't know what is going on, but I don't think it would be a huge problem. Okay. We can also debug multiverse, of course, because it is a JavaScript project. process.m. Does it have? It looks like it cannot call the .env file, and I don't know why. Ooh. Multiverse. It says that the procedure is empty, but it's not true. This is the front end. I all edited all the stuff in order to let the button work. I don't know why it just multiverse like this, because you can also use the Mocha tests or the command line on multiverse. It's the same thing, because multiverse can be used to test but also to run procedures. So you can write, for example, your own boats. And in fact, right now it is running. So it is running the procedure organization factory V1, which contains several. I don't know why it didn't work. I think it should. Let me check if we can do something here. Okay, now it's running. Don't know what was the problem, but now it is okay. Oh, maybe there are some, yeah, I think that it is a Node.js problem. Just let me, we should go. Okay, I also need to rerun the. Okay, let's try it again. This never happened. Okay, now it's going. Yes, we're on it. Let me also rerun the front end because it is extremely slow. Running procedure organization factory V1. Now it is doing all the multiverse transaction in Okay, he's doing the transactions, he's creating all the files, all the models. Once every time multiverse creates something, just write it down. Okay. It is extremely slow because I'm recording, I'm running the front end, I'm running this, running that. In fact, now it is a lot and it's going a little bit faster. So just to recap, we are running on Multiverse the procedure that will be used to deploy the organization factory. Once it's finished, we can use these create this forked mainnet on the front end in order to use the button. And this is what will happen in the next days. These contracts will be released in production. So on Ethereum Mainnet and Optimism for real, and they can be used through the Ethereum SOS front end to create organizations. They are a lot of transaction. I think they are more than 20. No. They are less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 are, yes, 17 transactions, 16 or 17 transactions. So it takes time also on Multiverse because Multiverse is using mainnet. All the blocks of mainnet needed for that specific transaction must be downloaded and cached into Multiverse. Once they are cached, it is extremely easy to run the application. So of course in mainnet it will be faster because this is a simulator environment. Of course, he's starting to create stuff. Yeah, it finished to create the organization factory. So the procedure of the organization factory, and now it is running tests. And for tests, I mean the creation of an organization through Multiverse here. But never mind, it is not useful for us. We will use the front end in a couple of seconds. It's send transaction. The transaction to create an organization cost a lot of gas. I counted 8 million gas for the full organization and 5 million gas for the lightweight one, the one without the fixed inflation. I mean, this means in terms of dollars, they are actually at the Ethereum actual price, they are $250 to create an organization in just one transaction, which is a really good goal. I think that it's finished. Yes. Yes. Okay. Once all the procedures finish, an updated version of the knowledge base is printed, and this is useful for us because I need to grab some information for different tab. So just let me do some little tricks which are not useful but just for this demo. Models. I need to grab all these addresses here and put this into the front end files over here. Models. Let's just replace it. Okay, cool, really cool. Okay, so now that Multiverse finished its procedure and the server is linked, we can go into the front end and switch to the Multiverse chain, the Multiverse forked chain from MetaMask. Also, the Ethereum SOS front end is able to detect Multiverse. So it knows that we are in Multiverse or in a mainnet. This is extremely important. Let's refresh just in order to be sure that everything works fine. Let me just clean the cache of the website. It's extremely slower because my PC is slower. Connecting to MetaMask. So into the front end, when you arrive, you just go here, guilds, create, organization, and now everything is ready to create an organization over here. It's just grabbing some information from the forked chain. As I said, it just downloads all the information from the original chain and caches them. So the first start is slower, the others are faster. Let's see if there are any questions. No questions over here. In the meantime is working. You know, this stuff is for this train of get balance is for, because MetaMask is asking for the balances of their all the wallets pull over there, and there are the logs for the front end grabbed through the from the Ethereum node, etc. And now it needs to grab some stuff. Okay, and we are. So this is the front end to create an organization. At the end, you can see the deploy button, which is the button, the famous the button. And these are all the fields needed to create an organization. Now let's just comment them one by one. Name of the organization, my awesome organization. Description, this is my awesome organization. Logo of the organizations. I just wrote it and closed it because I'm stupid. Just let me reopen Notepad, and I deleted it. Oh gosh. Let me just a second. I'm grabbing an IPFS link. First of all, before to continue, let's just go to the organizations page. Here, all the organizations are indexed. You just see the Ethereum OS organization, which is called non-beta. Here, it will be changed. And there is, of course, the organizations that I created through Multiverse into the procedure. And when you create the organization, you just go to the organization tab, and your organization will appear here. Okay, so let's go back again here. It needs again to download, but this time it will be faster, as I said. Yes, something that works. My awesome organization. My awesome organization. Now the IPFS logo, IPFS / IPFS / and this is the image. The website of the organizations, https / myawesome.org, for example. Then, once you complete the metadata, now you need to insert the governance rules. First of all, this voting token. Let's grab, for example, the Ethereum OS address. Here. It will search for it, download all the informations. it will be not so slower in the final version, of course. Okay. Do you want root access or not? If you want to do root proposals, you just provide the host of the root proposal. The host of the root proposal, just remember, is the one that can propose new proposals, not execute. For the execution, the governance rules must be followed, the quorum, the RCAP that we will insert in this phase. So let's say that we don't need to have a root proposal, root host proposal. So it will be a complete sub-DAO. Proposal duration. How many days a proposal how many days in how many days the proposal can collect votes? Let's say, for example, 5 days. What is the hard cap percentage you need to let the proposal pass? 18%, for example. Is there any quorum? Yes, for example, 15. No, I think it is a little bit more. 21% of quorum to let it pass or not. Validation bomb. How many days after the positive vote in order to be executed this transaction? It must be a number greater than the proposal duration because it starts from the proposal creation. So if we can add, for example, 2, it says validation bomb must be higher than proposal duration. So let's say the proposal duration is 9. Do you want fixed inflation? Yes or no? No means lightweight organization. Yes, just let you provide all the information for him. Who is the owner of the token minter right now? Let's say that it is OS itself. It's just a test. Never mind. What is the initial daily inflation percentage? 80%, let's say. Which are the other inflation percentage you will vote as a sub-DAO? 16, 47, 57, 84. Okay. Execution interval. How many days to execute this proposal? The fixed inflation? 1 day. Starting from the first execution must be done now, today. The fixed inflation, as you know, means new tokens and swap them for Ethereum. Where this swap must be executed, Uniswap v3, or you can use, for example, Uniswap v2 or whatever. Or Uniswap v3, you can also use the pool you want, for example, this one or another one. Do you have the Bootstrap fund? We discussed it on the Telegram, so you can see the discussion over there. So let's see that the Bootstrap wallet is OS again, because I have into my clipboard. The fund percentage, the one that, for example, Nerve takes right now from the fixed inflation. Let's say that it is 25 or 27, let's say. The Bootstrap fund is in tokens or in Ethereum swapped from the minted tokens. Let's say that we want Ethereum, or we can want tokens. So you can choose in your organization how to grab the tokens for the Bootstrap fund. Then you can specify the components that will receive directly the tokens, for example, the farming, and the components that will receive Ethereum. For example, in our case, Ethereum are swapped will be received from the Bootstrap fund and from the Treasury Splitter. So let's click this cross over here and select the component. The Treasury Splitter will receive the remaining 63%. So 27% to the Bootstrap fund and the remaining part, 73%, to the Treasury Splitter. And now we have the Treasury Splitter session. The split interval must be, for example, every 6 days, starting again from November 8th. And where all the treasury splitter Ethereums will go, for example, they can go to the delegations manager and selecting again to the investments manager and to the treasury manager. So let's say the delegations manager will have, you know, the investments manager, let's say, will have 65%, the delegation manager will have the 26%, and the remaining 8.25 will go to the treasury manager. The delegation manager has an attached insurance in your organization or not. So the attached insurance is that amount of tokens that every delegation will pay in order to attach to the organization you are creating. So this is an economic disincentive. So let's say 50 tokens. The investments manager right now, you have the swap interval. Let's say in our organization, we have 90 days, 3 months, 90 days, starting from 90 days from here. So again, October, November, no, December. Okay, like this. Cool. And you will sell the Ethereum of the investments manager to buy, for example, let's say USDC. On Uniswap v3 at pool 0.05%. And you can choose, for example, to burn them once you buy it, like we do into the investments manager of Ethereum SOS for OS itself. And you can specify other tokens, for example, another one which can be this math token. I don't know what it is, it's just in the list. On Uniswap v2 this time, so it will sell Ethereum and buy USDC on Uniswap v3 and Math on Uniswap v2, and then burn. Oops, sorry, I deleted it. I will. On Uniswap v2 and then burn. Okay, and then also the investments manager will buy Ethereum, selling again. Let's say USDC. USDC coin on this time SushiSwap, not on Uniswap v2 or v3 anymore, but SushiSwap. And you can also specify several ones. Because of I'm not pretty sure that a math Uniswap token a math token exists on Uniswap v2. I just delete it right now in order to let the procedure work. Once you completed all the steps, you must just click deploy. And if everything is correct, it will take a little bit of time over here, but it works, it is working. Let's just check the console is working. Now it's creating all the data. It's also uploading the metadata of the organization. It's a little bit slower, but in mainnet, I think it will be faster. Let me check. Yeah, it's going. Yes, Ethereum sent transaction. It sent the transaction, and because it is a really huge transaction, it will take a little bit of time. Now the transaction is gone. As you see, MetaMask is not opened in order to send the transaction. In the mainnet, it will be open. But now, as I said, the front end recognizes multiverse, recognizes that you are in multiverse, and so it bypasses MetaMask just to be faster in doing tests, because it could be a little bit annoying to go there and click every time. But because I know I am the same person which made the front end, I know that this could be there could be this multiverse option, so I just use some tricks to bypass MetaMask. But in regular front end, it works. It will work as usual. is going. These are all the data that we created. It's a real huge amount of data. These are all the data that we put it into the front end to create the organizations. They are just converted in bytecode, and they are used to create um, the organization. He's running, he's running. Okay, the deploy button reappeared again. So this means that the organization now is deployed. Of course, in the final version of the front end will be the message, the success message, etc. But what I want to show you right now is if we go into the organization, now there are not two organizations anymore, the Ethereum OS and the fake one that multiverse created, but also there will be the organization that we created right now, not elements to display. The demo is always something weird. Every time you go in demo mode, there are some problems, but never mind. It's just a test phase. The importance is that everything would work like sharp. Because let me just check. See, grabbing all the logs, but I want to know that the transaction is done, of course. Okay, let's try it again. When I tested everything, it worked like sharp, but now there are several problems. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It's something stupid, but I want just to let you know that everything is created for sure. I didn't have this problem when I tested it. Let me just check a thing. Here. Organization is number 7, yes. Oh, yes, we're gone. Yes, there are several problems here. So this is the Ethereum OS regular organization. The name will change, as I said. This is the one that we created through Multiverse. And this is the My Awesome Organizations that we created through the button before. Now it will not work if I click because the front end is targeted for example, managers, treasury managers, investments managers that work using blocks. And this one will use the time because to have compatibility with Optimism. So if I click, the front end will stop to work. Now it will launch an error, but never mind. This means that the organization is created and the view of the organization will be pretty the same as the Ethereum OS actual organization has when you go on to the actual the real website. Yes, as I said, it stopped to work because I need to work on it in the next days. But the important thing is that the organization is there. And of course, now I will switch back to the normal regular Ethereum mainnet, and everything will be rolled back to the original. You see also that when you have an address unlocked on Multiverse, it will give you a lot of Ethereum, so you are really rich. Go to Ethereum mainnet again, the real one, so not the Multiverse one anymore, and we are poor again, I think. My PC today is not working. Yes, we're poor again. Okay, and all the organization disappeared. So that's it, guys. This is how the button works. The button will work in the next days, and it will be possible to create organization. Before to leave, I just want to. I said that there was a surprise for you through multiverse, because multiverse is a procedure runner tool, a test tool, but an extremely powerful test tool. And the last thing I want to show you is that every time you do a transaction, you submit a transaction on multiverse. Just let me check one. A lot of if get logs, because I said the front end use the logs. It is the most important call within the Web3 space, because it is useful to build uh, front ends. Okay, so in multiverse you do the transaction. Transaction is submitted regularly, and once the transaction is executed, you have this call over here, debug trace transaction. So this means that once the transaction is submitted, every single step of the transaction is analyzed, collected in a dump file like this, which is just a file full of words, full of not understandable things. Once you have the key to read them, and the key is this magic website I created, where you can load the file and just have all the transactions created on multiverse while working on it, like in Etherscan. The most important tool in the entire ecosystem is to have a visual tool for the transaction. And this is the best, the best tool, the best tool in the entire multiverse suite, because you can see every single transaction, all the stuff that in every single transaction is made. For example, these are the entire multiverse procedures that will be reproduced on Ethereum Mainnet, and there are all the creation of the models. Then at the end, the creation of the proposal rules factory that I showed you at start, calling, as you can see, the factory of factories, original address, which is the one used in mainnet. Of course, as you said, last transaction was made more than 300 days ago, but this is multiverse, which is the forked mainnet. And this is the proposal rules. This is the organization factory creation. You just call the factory of factories, pasting the bytecode of the organization, the factory, and which is extremely huge, and it will create the organization factory having this address. This address is created on multiverse, not in mainnet, because it's a multiverse transaction. So if I click here, it says that this address doesn't exist, of course. But this is the address that will be created on mainnet if I use that wallet, and I will use that wallet. So also multiverse will let you know which addresses will be created for sure. And you have all the entire information about the input data, output data, all the events launched into the smart contracts, etc. And now I want to show you so this is the creation of the organizations that cost for at least 5 million gas. And this will be created just once when I will deploy the organization factory. And every time you create an organization, you will call the deploy method on the organization factory itself. So you created the factory of factories to grab the organization factory, and this is the thing that the front end will do. And with this address, you can call deploy, passing all the data we provided on the button front end. And once you deploy it, you will pass, of course, all the data. These are the input data, all this giant stuff here, and these is the entire transaction steps, step by step, with all the details of what is made and why, all the validations of the input in order, for example, to do not provide false information that can break your organization and, for example, hold the tokens of the holders forever, and which cannot be grabbed anymore. Um, just do all the checks, all the validations, and tons and tons of transactions, delegate calls, creations of contracts using, as I said, the new creation methodology that saves gas and let us create the organization in just one transaction. Um, what can I show you? For example, here, who is the host of the every single, you see here every single organization manager, which is always the organization itself. So this is the address of the organization, the one that we can see into different end, and etc etc etc, extremely long and huge. So it was really a huge work, and all these things is what the mainnet will do when you will deploy an organization for real on Ethereum Mainnet and Optimism, of course. And it will cost, because multiverse of course calculates the cost. It costs a little bit less than the last time. The last time cost 8 million gases, now 7.7. I don't know why. Maybe I forgot to insert something. Maybe yes. I think that I didn't provide 5 tokens to buy and 5 tokens to sell into the investments manager, but just one for tests. But yes, the final price would be 8 million. Sorry, the final gas would be 8 million, which is at the actual price $250, if I remember correctly. We just calculated it. So guys, that's it. The create button is online in early version. Not working version is already live, and as you can see, it works. It creates organization for real, even if on mainnet, and in the next days it will upgrade it. For example, I will insert all the error message into different end, and let, of course, the organization work for real, like the Ethereum OS one. And that's it. Hope that you liked this Vasa pin. I don't know if you have any question. I can wait here for a couple of minutes and then we can close it. And I hope, of course, that you like a multiverse. Thank you very much. Let's see on Telegram if there are some comments. I'm watching Telegram from my phone. No questions, no comments. So if you don't have any other comments, I don't know what is working right here, because my PC is completely out of service today because several things open. I think I should buy a new PC. I'm just already watching for the new one. Okay, guys. If no any other question, I think that we consider the live pill closed here. Hope that you liked it, and thank you very much. Bye bye.